exactly what you want to see. Let's run this puppy in. Score a touchdown and tie this game. Life, run for your life, touchdown on one play. Worked on this in practice. Touchdown. It's up to Kelvin Benjamin. This is all you, buddy. Kelvin Benjamin for a touchdown. Oh, he toasted his man. Holmes toasted his man. Spin move. Oh! Oh! All right, what's going on, guys? I know I don't usually do double videos before the 6 o'clock video that I always do, but crazy stuff just went down literally like a half hour ago as I'm recording this video, maybe 45 minutes. Are we living in a simulation right now? What is going on in LA? Okay, let me tell you what happened. So the LA Rams are trading a second-round pick and a third-round pick next year in next year's draft to the Broncos, but not for a normal player. They're trading for Von freaking Miller, Super Bowl 50 MVP Von Miller. So yeah, I don't know how to react to this. This is unbelievable. Von Miller is one of those guys that, yes, he's older. He's not as explosive as he once was. He's not as dynamic as he once was. He's had some injuries. He had that Achilles injury that took him out of all of 2020. He's not as good as he was when he was on his top. But when he was at the peak of his powers, Von Miller was the best defensive player in the league. There's not really much of a question, because at that point, Aaron Donald really hadn't come into his own yet. There was no Jalen Ramsey. There was no Minkah Fitzpatrick or Jamal Adams or whoever. Name your great defensive player. There was none of that. It was Von Miller. It was really like Von Miller and Luke Kuechly and a few other guys on the defense that were like the best guys in the league at that time. And Von Miller, he may not be what he once was, but he is still a very good pass rusher. He's a very good defensive player, and now he joins what is already one of the best defenses in the league in the LA Rams. The LA Rams are like a video game right now. They are doing a rebuild of their team like you would do in Madden. They traded for Jalen Ramsey a couple years ago. They already drafted Aaron Donald all of those years ago, back in 2014. Now they trade a second and a third for a former Super Bowl MVP? I just can't believe it. This is a monumental trade. A massive, massive trade. This may not seem like it's that much. It's a very name value trade. And by what I mean by name value is, Von Miller may not be the best player in the league anymore. Really, not even probably top 10 at this point in his career. But when you attach a name like Von Miller, people know who you mean when you say Von Miller. People know who that is. He's an established name, not just in the NFL circles, but in just regular circles. Like if you went up to a random guy on the street or girl on the street, somebody on the street in a random city, you would be like, hey, do you know who Von Miller is? It's a big enough name where I guarantee you at least 60-70% of those people say, yeah, I've heard of him. He plays for NFL. He plays football. That's the kind of name value that this trade has. It might not turn out to be that great of a trade in terms of on the field production, but this is a massive trade. The Rams are giving up their draft to go and win now, and I respect it. I respect it. As a fan of a team whose dynasty is probably over, at least the former iteration of the dynasty is over. I respect it, because what the Patriots used to do is they used to go out, either sign one or two guys that would just fit. They would just fit. They wouldn't be name pieces. They wouldn't be big blockbuster deals. They would just fit in the scheme, fit what they're doing. Plug and play pieces. And those pieces would win Super Bowls. But what the LA Rams are doing is a complete 180. They went out, they traded for Matt Stafford in a fleece of a deal. Like, we look back at it now in 2020 vision with like a perspective, but that deal, I don't think we're valuing how much of a fleece that was that the Rams pulled on the Lions. They gave them Jared Goff, who in LA was average. He got him to a Super Bowl, but that was really much more of the defense and Todd Gurley. And he didn't really do much in that game. That was one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched, and my team won that Super Bowl. So that was a bad Super Bowl, but he didn't do anything else before that or after that. He got a huge contract, did not live up to it, got shipped out for one of the better players in the league in Matt Stafford, and now look at the Rams. Yes, their running back got injured for the season. That sucks. But they have Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller. They have all three phases of the defense. The D-line, the secondary, the linebackers. They have all three phases of the defense with one player. This is crazy. I can't even process how crazy this is. I don't know if you guys understand the level of craziness this is. Von Miller was, I don't know if I may have meant, I forget already what I said in the beginning of the video. Von Miller is in the list of guys that you would never think to be traded. Aaron Rodgers, well, he's in that too. But Aaron Donald is also in that list. There's certain guys in the NFL that you would never in a million years think would ever get traded. There's certain people, that's just because they're so good, you can't value them with draft picks or with plays. You can't equal their value, their production on the field. Guys like Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, even though he got traded already, but in Arizona, he will not get traded again. The only way he leaves Arizona is if he signs a new contract in free agency. I don't see that happening, though. But J.J. Watt was on this list for a good amount of time. You got Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Josh Allen's on this list now. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. There's certain guys that are on a list of players that you just can't trade. And Von Miller was on that list. Now, he probably slips off this list fairly recently with all the injuries and the lack of production. But this year, he's been playing pretty well. And just to see him being traded, when I heard the news, I was taken aback. I was shocked. Like, my eyes popped out of my head. I was like, is this real? Are we really seeing this happen? The LA Rams are doing what every fantasy football GM would do. What we do in Madden is what the Rams are doing in real life. Who cares about the money? The Broncos are paying, I think, a little bit, if not all of Von Miller's rest of his contract. But who cares about the money? It's the NFL. Owners figure out. See, that's the one thing that I don't understand about when people criticize GMs and owners and stuff. They're like, oh, it's the salary cap. They can't pay for this guy. Like, oh, they're at the hard cap. They're at the ceiling. Like, no. There really is a very fine line in the world of salary cap. If an owner wants to get this done, they will make it happen. I've talked about this with the Patrick Mahomes contract. I've talked about this in the world of baseball and MLB, in NBA. I've talked about this in every sport. When there's a player that the owner or GM or team wants, they will make the money work. They will make it work. It doesn't matter if there's a salary cap or if there's a hard cap or luxury tax. It doesn't matter. The owners will make the money work to bring in players. So I don't want to hear nothing about money because the owners make it work. So the Rams are dominating this. I don't know if this makes them a Super Bowl contender more than what they already are, but this definitely adds to at least the right now of what the Rams are doing. So it's a crazy deal. I cannot express the craziness that has gone on. And this is just trade number 1 of the deadline. There could be even more crazy deals coming in the future that I will cover on this channel. But right now, Von Miller to the LA Rams from the Denver Broncos for a 3rd and a 2nd next year's draft. Unbelievable, boys. Let me know down below what you guys think. Are you guys as shocked as I am? I hope you are, because it's a massive deal. Let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Juice Club. We'd love to have you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.